Husband David Justice is causing a firestorm for what he's saying about their divorce nearly 30 years ago.
In my mind, I'm thinking a wife at that time should cook, clean.
Traditional.
If we have kids, is this the woman I want to have kids with and build a family with?
They met in May 1992 and tied the knot 8 months later.
She asked me to marry her after knowing me for 5 months. I said, okay.
The former MLB player just spoke out on the All the Smoke podcast.
I just realized this is not the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So February 1996, I told her, yeah, I can't do this no more.
Halle's fans are taking him to task. You married Halle Berry to be your housewife? Sounds like he wanted a maid more than a wife. This was tasteless. Some believe the slugger is still angry at the actress for not coming to his defense when she said an ex-boyfriend hit her so hard she lost 80% of the hearing in her left ear. Lots of people assumed it was David Justice, but it wasn't. The Oscar winner has never said who it was.
She let the world think that it was me. And I thought she was dead wrong for that. I thought she should have handled that better.
What's up? What is up, good people? Uh-oh, something went wrong here. Hold on. No, we all good. Should be. Y'all got it? Y'all can see me? What's up? Peace and blessings to everyone in the chat. For some weird reason, I'm not able to see everybody. But peace and blessings to all of you. Now, let's get into this because I want it to be clear. Yes, this is Carcino for Life. Don't forget, you can always donate to the Cash App by hitting the Cash App button. I'm having a hard time understanding why this isn't working. Now, let's get this done the right way. See, David Justice has had enough of Halle Berry and what she was expecting from a marriage. He was expecting for a marriage. For years, he's been very upset that Halle Berry has not come forward and said and stated, this is not the man that harmed me. That's all he wanted. That's all he wanted the public to know, was this person did not harm me. You know, like, just clear his name. That's all he ever asked. But by him not getting asked that, he felt this harmed his career in baseball. It's kept him away from certain, you know, accolades that it would have probably went his way. So he's a little bitter. I would say a lot bitter over these years about his name not being cleared. Now, Of course, there's going to be people who are, well, you could say bitter or angry. The fans, they've all been attacking David Justice ever since, saying how dare him do that to her, put her in such a position. Poor Holly. David Justice was mean. So you've been hearing that a lot for the past couple of minutes. Like, she's been really going through it with the fans and all the support. Her PR team is out here, and they've been taking over. Now, here's where it's going to get a little interesting. We happen to know during that time there was a publicist who was one of the lead people in Halle Berry's up and coming career when she was starting to get bigger money roles during that time. Like, she was a heavyweight starting to come up into the big times. So they decided to try her out in some of these big budget movies. This was her. Wow, I guess they're watching the live stream then. There's no need to question, are they watching the live stream? They've just shown you they are watching the live stream. And they're watching it heavy, buddy. They're watching it heavy. So, yeah, that just went down in a way that shouldn't have. Now, yeah, so to make it all pretty much simple to everyone in the world, Halle Berry, her publicist before she worked with the Silvers, she was with them. And that's why, they're saying this is a two-way street. It's not like David just made it sound, but the way he did this interview, sitting down, is what they want to illustrate is this is the David Justice that people didn't know. You knew the sweet, lovable, smiling David Justice, but this is the David Justice that didn't get along with Deion Sanders. This is a David Justice that didn't get along with like any teammate. He was not the type of person you thought he was. He was very entitled, very arrogant, and he wasn't a friendly person, as many people thought. And in the relationship, of course, this is coming from her side, he wasn't the person Halle Berry thought he was. She wanted the marriage to work because of the fact that she did not want to be divorced. She didn't want to go through what her parents went through. She wanted to have a marriage that works. But early on in the marriage, this was a problem. And that David wasn't addressing a lot of the things that happened in the marriage. He chose to just focus on what he thought is the problem, which is her. She didn't cook. She didn't clean. She's an actress. Half of the time, she's not even at home. Half of the time, he's on the road during the season. She doesn't have an off season, but when she's in between projects, she comes home and spends time with him and do what she has to do. She'll be gone for a month after a time. How is she going to be cooking? And she's got to go and audition and do all these interviews, and she's got makeup. She's got a whole itinerary schedule that's booked for like January to December. How is she going to have a cook? I mean, how is she supposed to sit there and cook? it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous for him to say that, but I do get his point. She should have cleared up and said, it's not David Justice. She should have cleared that part up. The divorce was terrible. It was terrifying. It was all over the place. And many would say, well, he didn't deserve that. I would agree. David didn't deserve a lot, but it's two sides to each story. Now, here's the real meat of it that David would never address himself. In 1995, right? They didn't win. David was taking a lot of it out. Some of the writers were saying David Justice is not lovable. He called out the fans, saying the fans didn't support enough, and that's why they lost. David Justice was making a lot of reasons, and a lot of people in Atlanta were booing him when they were supposed to be loving him. And then the marriage to Halle Berry, this was supposed to be a big moment for him, but now he's being looked at as the bad guy. The marriage thing isn't working out for him. This was perfect for him when he got married. She wanted to marry him, and he was like, okay, cool, because this works perfect for him. His agency was telling him, dude, you're going to be on the cover of every magazine in the world. You're with the woman that's viewed as the most beautiful woman in the world. And you're David Justice. Oh, they're going to eat this up. So that made him jump right into a marriage after like 5-6 months. Now, everybody likes to make everything the woman's fault. Here, we have to be clear and concise. This was not the way everybody thinks. David Justice became rude, condescending, allegedly, according to the other side of the coin. When she tried to be a wife, he didn't want that. He wanted to control the situation. He's a narcissist. He's an arrogant human being by standards. He's very professional. Like, you'll never hear anything about him with being tardy, just gonna not do what he's supposed to do. He's gonna do his part, but he wants to be praised and have his ass kissed for doing his part. He never wanted to be the leader. He just wanted to be the player that lead by example when he played baseball. So he was in a funk. He was in a mood because he's like, I don't know if I want kids with you. It's just like the way he delivered that to her was so awful. It's like, I don't know if I want kids with you. I don't know if, like, how'd this look? We have kids and, I just saying, you're not going to be a mother that could be home. You're going to be on the road. I'm going to be playing baseball. So it's like, I probably need a wife that's going to be at home. Someone's going to be there for the kids. I don't want them being raised by a nanny. So she was like, this is the first time we've had the conversation and it comes out like that. It's just rude. It's certain things that you do And she still wanted to be with David. She did not want to not be with David Justice. She still wanted to be with David Justice all the way. Like, no, we could fix this. Let's just work. Let's go to therapy. He didn't want to go to therapy. Nothing wrong with me. Why would I go to therapy? If you want to go, then okay. But David Justice wasn't going to go to therapy. She's never said that. So because she never said that, that became the running storyline. Because she never opened her mouth and broke and uttered those words out of her mouth. So if you never come out publicly and say these things, everybody's going to look at what David Justice just said and the way he just came out and bashed her. This is a man who's angry that he's been put in this life, because when he just got up and said, I'm done, I want a divorce, and he the one that broke it off and he did this, she was livid now, because now she looks like the bad person, or she looked like she can't keep a marriage. So she becomes livid. And now her team is going to activate everything at David Justice. So they separate in like May of 96. They're done. Like this, they moving out, done. I mean, in February of 96. And then by May of 96, David Justice injures his shoulder. He was hell to be dealing with in the locker room. And this man who saved the series, the hero of the city, who won the World Series off a home run in Game 6, is now looked at as the villain. And they trade him. Atlanta just dumped him, sent him to Cleveland. And you know what he did? He balled out in Cleveland. But he separated his shoulder. And so the whole process of the divorce, he's had shoulder injury. He's in a cast. He's miserable. He's got an empty house. He was just angry. But he went right back to balling. David Justice in baseball, he just knew what to do when it came to baseball. This guy was on fire. Cleveland, them, I think they went to the World Series that year. Or close to it, or the championship game. They were doing their thing. Then, after the facts and everything that went down, yeah, I know. I thought David Justice was a Cuban. The way I look at him now, I'm like, hey, get that Cuban guy over there, David Justice. Holly's not perfect, no, but neither was David Justice. They both were messed up for each other. Well, they might look good on the thumb saver or screensaver or something as the poster board for Black love. I think they were on Ebony. They were on all these magazines as the lovely couple. But if you get down to the gist of it all, if you get to the grit, you will see it was hell and high water with those two. They were toxic. Well, just look at it. How many baseball friends does David Justice have? Is David Justice in the Hall of Fame? I'm asking because I don't know. Y'all tell me. Is David Justice in the Hall of Fame? 'Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, he should be. What's up, Joe Cool? That lets you all you need to know about David Justice. He went to the Yankees where he won a World Series with the Yankees. He had 2 injuries with the Yankees, which made the Yankees give up on him, but he won a World Series with him. The Yankees traded him to the Mets. And the Mets, they gave him for Robin Ventura, who used to be the Chicago White Sox third baseman. So they traded him to get Robin Ventura. Then they traded him again to Oakland, the Oakland A's. Right? Remember he was in the movie? Yeah. That Bean story when they won that 20 plus games or 30 something games in a row. With the Bean system. And they were using an entire system to win games. Yeah, Moneyball. He said Moneyball was BS too. To an extent. He didn't like the way his character was. Standoffish. He was just the way I just described, the way he was in real life, how he was in that movie. Standoffish. Can't be told nothing. He was a veteran. He was 36 at the time. He's looking like, hey, this is my last year. These guys are trying to teach me baseball at 36. So, that's how he felt about it. It's like, is that what we doing now? Y'all want to teach me baseball at 36 years of age? So I understood his point and why he felt the way he was feeling. But you also got to look at it from a realistic standpoint. The realistic standpoint is that you are 36. And the realization was the Yankees paid half your salary. So that $7 million he was getting in his last season, he left baseball before baseball said, we don't want you. He wasn't going to get another offer anywhere. But after the 33 game streak, he could have stayed there, but Oakland wasn't going to pay him. See this? Oh, this is going to be a whole new area here. See these charging stations and all that? You're going to see more of those everywhere out here. They sealed the road off. You can't come down the road no more. All of this is getting demolished and redone all the way around. Whole new lots. Why? Because there's money here. Hybrid cars is that's where it's at. You know what one rich person said to the other rich person? Where's mine? That's what they said. I want a charging port. So why is it only 2? Because when they first built this thing, hell, nobody really had cars like that. Now, since they built a whole new area here, all of this has been reconstructed and built. And who they putting in there? Rich Ukrainians. They made this whole thing look like Europe. So now, all of this is brand new. Most of it hasn't even opened up yet. And don't think anybody can just come in here and get property. You can't. You got leasing, rental properties. Like all of this is going to be leased to somebody when it gets done. But most of the stuff, they already are pretty much filling up. Oh, they have the best steakhouse. They have the best wine bar. They have everything here. That's the kitchen and wine area over there. Very Euro, very different. And to think all of this was a parking lot. And they were able to turn into this parking lot into this. All of this. Anthropology. Wow, never thought I would hear a store that would be named with such a name that most people can't even pronounce. Anthropology. So once again, you're caught in a scenario where money talks and BS walks a marathon. So what you're hearing now and what you're seeing is Halle Berry's or Haley Berry, however you want to pronounce it. Her friends, her people that's involved, or her PR team that she has today are going to paint this narrative of how dare you bully the woman? How dare David Justice be upset? All throughout the divorce, so before then, she filed for a restraining order against David Justice. It's a sit-down eatery section. Again, they haven't even begun to fill this area up yet. They still got apartments where people can live on the top. This is about a $300 to $400 million renovation. That means my property value will rise. Where I live will be worth a lot more than what I moved in for. Oh, that grass was fake back there. So after she filed a restraining order, they ended up coming to an agreement a year later after the separation, over a year later. So in 97, he was divorced. He got married to this Hispanic woman who he'd been with all those years since. Got his kids with her, everything. So David Justice has not moved on. He got the wife he wanted, got a Latina who's going to cook and stay at home and serve him at his pleasure. That's what he wanted. He got it. But he hates the fact that he feels that Halle Berry or Haley Berry did not clear his name. So now he's going out to really just turn up on her to force her to come out and say it wasn't him. Because I understand his anger and upset with the fact that he looks like the bad guy. But he wasn't a good guy either. I mean, he was an a-hole. So ask anybody in baseball. I mean, when you can't get along with Deion Sanders, prime time, couldn't get along with Deion. Save his life. Now, I'm going to go this way. Yeah, so. Yes, he has a very, I know it all personality. But he's going to do his part. David Justice is never going to be the one to shortcut himself. One of the best hitters I've seen. On base percentage out this world. He's either gonna get walked, he's gonna get a hit. He hardly ever strikes out. Had a great eye for the ball. Now, to me, he should be in the Hall of Fame if he isn't already. But if he ain't there, you know why. Yeah, he was decent as an outfielder, had a good arm. But you know why. He didn't have a lot of friends. He just somebody who just David Justice was just not a people's person. It's not his fault. Some people are, some people aren't. It's just the way it is. Yeah, he was. As a baseball player, he was that guy. No, he wasn't Milton Bradley. He was Milton Bradley. I remember when the Cubs got Milton Bradley. Milton Bradley was just a walking tie ball. Milton Bradley was a walkie tie ball. As soon as now y'all got me thinking about Milton Bradley. Oh Lord. Milton Bradley is a walkie-talkie tie bomb. Every time Milton Bradley, if a call didn't go his way, nobody was safe. Umpire, fans, players. That dude, yeah, when the Cubs signed him, but I'm like, he bat over 300. Like the dude could hit anything. He came over here and couldn't hit nothing. He came over and was like, I'm turning over a new leaf. That's not the same Milton Bradley. That Bradley's over. No, it's a whole new Milton Bradley. That sounded nice. Well, man, when he wasn't hitting right, he got into it. This dude tore his ACL arguing with an official. Milton Bradley. That dude will explode. Mm-hmm. Yeah, them Braves years was something else. Tom Glavine, Smokes, and they had the epic commercial, Chicks Dig the Long Ball. Yeah, so those were great moments for them. At that time, I'm not taking up for anybody in there. I could really care less. I just remember what went on in 1996. I remember what the situation was. Because the situation was this. She was married to David when they were doing the Flintstones. You remember the movie The Flintstones came out? And she was in the Flintstones and all of this. The same casting director was trying to cast some people I know for that movie. That she ended up getting the role from Sharon Stone, who turned it down. Sharon Stone turned down the movie. Hey, Halle Berry ended up getting it. And it went from there. Yeah, Greg Maddux, the former Chicago Cub. We let him go to Atlanta and become a star. and he was a good dirt ball pitcher. Every time you hit it, could never really get a good hit on Maddox. But they never talk about the steroid thing with him, and they never talk about the steroid situation with Greg Maddox and Tom Glavine. The reason they was pitching so long, they all focused in on Roger Clemens though, but they got a chance to skate away. That's a whole nother story. Uh, well, as far as Halle Berry's concerned, I mean, it's up to her. I don't know what her participation would be, and he said in a dire situation like that, you can only wish for somebody to, wish for the best for them, But when you don't have the best to wish for them, this is what you're left with as a result. So, yes, but that's why the joke was supposed to land when they asked her name, and she said her name in the movie was Sharon Stone. It was supposed to be more of a joking. It was the laughters in the movie theater. But if Sharon Stone would have said her name was Sharon Stone, playing Sharon Stone in the Flintstone, the joke had more impact that way. They got in the hall and Clemens didn't. Exactly. Clemens didn't play for the Braves and he should have retired. And they would have got in. And they want to put him in so bad, but he never admitted to doing any of it. And they're just holding him out. Hopefully, when those other people croak and everybody else come around full circle, they can get people in there who can actually construct something worthwhile. Well, that's not the reason. Well, that's probably one of the reasons they got rid of David Justice. Like they said in Moneyball, the Yankees are paying $3.5 million of your salary for you to play against them. I know. Tell me about it. So that's the story. The same publicist worked for both the person that was both going for the Flintstone part, the ones that didn't get it that I know, and the one that did get it in Halle Berry. She was working with them before Holly started working with Joel Silver and his wife and became really like ironclad with them and their team. All right. So on that note, you got all the information you need from me, telling you both sides were wrong in this situation. Uh, both sides just weren't compatible. So it wasn't just what David Justice is saying. All right. Sorry, they hit the wrong thing on me. So it wasn't just that. Mm-hmm. Appreciate y'all time. Really do. Oh, there you go.
If you're ready.
I do have it. Actually. Thank God I brought it. Cool.
You guys have tickets already bought?
All right. You said what? How many times Haley's been married? How many times David been married? Let's figure it out. She's been married twice. And doesn't mean that she's marriage material or she's not married material. It's just what happened in their marriage. He got what he wanted in a wife. He wanted somebody to be subservient, cook, clean, and basically be a living servant and just there for his pleasure. And he got that. But you can't get Halle Berry and expect Halle Berry to be that. Halle Berry and your wife, their incomes are a lot different. Okay, she's a working actress. But it just goes along with what I told you about the arrogance of that individual. So anyway, I'm out. We'll chat later. Just